So, Theory of a Deadman. They have a 6th studio album. Mm-hmm. This one is called Wake Up Call?
Yes.
Absolutely. This just came out on the 27th of October. And it's their first album that is considered pop rock.
Rather than just hard rock?
Hard rock, yeah. And they got a new producer and everything for this. So let's discuss the sound. It's definitely pop rock. It's not like their old stuff.
It's a huge divergence from their previous sound, like, as far as I know. I've only heard their radio hits.
Yeah, so
I'll
we've
say
heard,
that
like,
as a disclaimer.
Bad Girlfriend, Low Life, those things that we've heard. This is much different than that, and it's because they have several things. One, they have a new producer, Martain Tarafe, and you'll never guess who he produces. Jason Mraz.
That's not surprising at all.
Katie Tunstall, he does some Train, he did James Blunt a couple times, I think. So
so that's why this sounds just like those people.
So that's definitely a big issue with this. Well, I wouldn't say issue. It's a big point of sound in this album. And a lot of the sound of this album, instead of being very rock-driven, it's very piano-driven. Because Tyler Connolly, the lead singer, he just bought a big piano, didn't know how to play, and decided to learn how to play with this album. And
that's why the piano is so bad.
Okay. It's not necessarily bad, it's simple in some songs. But let's get into it. Starting with the song Straight Jacket.
I wear a 36 long.
So Straight Jacket. Do you think that Tyler needed to be put in one?
I wouldn't necessarily say so. This song definitely wasn't the worst on the album.
No, absolutely not.
It starts out with some bouncy piano and some sassy lyrics.
This song, I would say, as we were saying with the producer, this is the most Mrazian. It's got that Mraz, like, sort of rap talk verse to it.
It's a discount Jason Mraz.
Yeah, actually, this sounded very 2000s pop. There's no hard rock vocal. Like, anyone's like said, listen, like Bad Girlfriend and stuff like that. It's much poppier and lighter tone that, but it is just as sassy. It like they retain their sass beautifully in this album. In fact, so much so that I feel like this album might be. This is my opinion of the whole album. I think this album might be ironic.
It could be if you trust them that much.
And I don't know them well enough to say that, but considering this is my first Theory of a Deadman album, I know, crucify me. But I definitely would like to hear more of their old stuff than this necessarily, but we'll get into it. So like I said, this song is really simple. I say it sounds like early 2000s pop. This is a very pop rock album. Most of the time, I would say you could even cut off the rock part of that. It's very simple.
There's occasionally a guitar.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of acoustic guitar.
There is a lot of acoustic guitar.
But
one song has electric guitar.
Yeah,
we'll get to it.
This song has like a line. So this album has a lot of sassy, I am very smart, clever lines in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of cultural
there's a lot
references.
Of memes, I would say, in this.
Like, the line I wrote down for this was her clickbait body, and I'm like, what does that even mean? Does it mean, I guess it just means she's hot.
Yeah, she just draws you in, and there's no depth, really. I would say the only thing I can really say about this song is that one of the clever things he says is like a supercalifragilistic sort of sassy, like a little rap line, which is so Mrazian. I thought, like, was this written by Mraz?
Yeah, and he clearly thought that line was so clever they had to repeat it again later in the song.
It is a song, so they're repeated.
Well, things. But that line happened in the verse of the song. Usually you don't repeat things from the verse.
And then the song ended with this sort of weird, spoopy, ghosty synth thing. Which just made no sense at all. And I don't know if that may be a Theory of a Deadman thing.
It's not, I'm pretty sure.
But that just made no sense at all to me, and I really was not into that as part of this album. Especially as it switches into the next song, which is called RX, or I guess that's the prescription signal, or it's also known as Medicate. So, Medicate, did you feel like you needed to after this?
Yes.
So,
To preface, we've heard this song played on the radio to death.
Yes, this is the only single from the album.
Yeah.
I believe.
That's why it's played to death.
And it topped the charts for 3 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
So this song, if this song isn't ironic, I don't get it at all. It's so goofy and full of non sequiturs.
I can, even if it's not being sarcastic overall, like, I can see the point it's trying to make. Like, the message, I can see, like, that everybody's trying to escape from society and reality, and that all we do is just pick escapism over.
My favorite lines was, I'm sweating bullets and got Netflix chills, and I'm like, I understand your play on words, and I really get it, and that's
and
funny.
the next, crushing candy, crushing pills.
Sweating bullets, Netflix chills, yes. I love, like, that's so in the moment that, like, in 10 years from now, this album will seem so aged.
It'll be
and,
so
like,
dated, yeah.
And, like, so, and that's my problem with this whole album, is it's a very dated feeling album, because it's all, like, modern cultural references.
Which might be a positive thing, because it very of its time. You know, that's the nice way to say dated, I guess.
Well, that's the thing is, that's why I feel like this album is sort of ironically pop, because it's like, oh, so many modern, like, just pop things, it's what's important right now. And that's why I feel like there's a certain level of, like, nodding and winking.
I hope so. I really hope that they're approaching this with sarcasm and irony. But there's just so many lyrics in this song that are awful.
Superman is a hero, but only when his head is clear, though. He needs that fix like the rest of us, so that he's ready to save that bus.
That bus over there.
That one. Anyway.
Yeah,
but getting into the song itself, though, we talked about the lyrics a lot.
Well, I was going to say one of the big lyric things that bothers me is in the chorus, he says, "I am so frickin' bored," which I thought was a radio edit when I first heard it.
Well, I assumed, because I imagine the song was designed to be the radio song, so they're just like, let's not even edit it, let's just leave it as frickin'.
I thought but the thing is, it doesn't make any sense, because later in the song, they say everybody's high as fuck right now. And to say, why would you censor yourself in the chorus and then just go ahead and say fuck later?
Yeah, there's so many problems with this. So, well, the song has a whistling intro, and that actually I would say is the best part of this song.
The whistling is cute.
Do thing going. It's really nice, and it's like, I imagine you wrote that part on the piano, and then you just decided to replace it with whistles because. And then so this album has a credited drummer who's only here half the time. As I said to you, what was it I said?
It's just, he's taking a nap.
Yeah, and the 808 showed up to the studio and said, there's a lot of synth clap and synth drum in this album. And this was one of the songs that really had it, which is weird because the only other thing is whistling and acoustic guitar, really.
Yeah, and I'd say that's a big theme on this album, like, which starts to show in this song, is that there's really simple, light music underneath. Like, it really spots, like, the vocals.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Which
we'll get to more in the next song, especially. But in this one, so they were classically a hard rock band, and just before they go into the chorus, one of the choruses, he goes like, "I've had enough of it," and he like does that sort of rock vocal, and we're like, yeah, it's gonna break out into something more intense.
And then it doesn't.
And
it's like, oh, I want rock music. Oh, dang it.
And then it has the goofiest bridge, which is
everyone's high as
yeah, I'm high. It's like, you're high right now, that hot chick's high right now, the policeman's high right now, the president's high right now, blank blank is high right now. And no one's ever coming down. And I'm like, that's so goofy, but it's fun, I guess. It gets
the point. It's kind of silly, and it gets the point across.
I said that this album is kind of juvenilely fun.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, and I'm 100% certain that it's self-aware, even if it doesn't feel like it.
I hope so.
But in the end, all I can say is that the next song is Echoes.
You were there, now you're gone. Big mistake.
Echoes. Will it echo in your brain?
It will not. This song will die very soon in my brain. I don't mean to be rude when I say that. I'm just saying I won't remember this, and I won't remember a lot of this. Not because it's necessarily bad. If you like pop and you like pop rock, I'm sure this is very good. But for me, this song, his vocal in the intro, this is the really first example of, I feel like his vocal on the rest of this album really feels it. He's trying to sing way too high for what his vocal range really is.
It's not like he's trying to sing too high. It's just he's trying to sing better than he can.
Melodically, I guess. He's trying to sing like a pop singer, I guess. And he's got a really weak voice in those sort of heady tones. Mm-hmm. His voice is kind of weak. And
he should stick more to his mid-range.
And so I feel like that's definitely a problem, especially in the song in the intro, where he feels like he's like maybe running out of breath or something because he's trying to sing too much. Yeah. As opposed to like do this sort of rock sort of like thing going on. But this is the first song where you can really tell that there's a drum and guitar, and it's just
that is true.
Yeah, it really, everyone is literally there in the studio playing it, and it's really good all together. And I really feel like the chorus of this is the best part of this song. Like, it's much better.
Yeah, no, the chorus of this song actually is like, you can kind of sing along with it, and I wrote, chorus is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. See, I would say the problem, the problem with the song is the pre-chorus, where it does that thing that you don't like, where it slows everything down.
It slows everything down, and the other thing is that it rhymes cold with cold.
Yeah, well,
it doesn't. It just says, "Why is everything so cold? Why are you so cold?" And it's like, you didn't add any content with that pre-chorus.
It slows everything down. It adds a weird like delay and reverb, and it like has a weird synth board underneath, which isn't related to the rest of the song, and it just feels really out of place compared to everything else. Especially when the verse has like a driving sort of bass underneath that's like,
and then it just stops for the pre-chorus that has no musical or lyrical content at all. And
okay, don't be rude. No, but then I feel like the chorus comes back and brings it back in.
No, it does have.
It's still a very poppy song, but I like it. much more than some of the choruses on this album. But then the bridge has almost the exact same sort of as the chorus, so it kind of like just transfers into that, and it's just a different chord progression, and it basically feels the exact same, and it feels like the song doesn't go anywhere, really. It doesn't develop.
Although, the one development is it does do that thing, that cliche that I hate, where the second to last chorus is really soft, and there's no instruments underneath, basically. It does that thing.
Oh, and the one of the things it does again, which copies from Straight Jacket, I guess, is it ends with a lot of weird sort of digitally sounds that really don't, I feel like, have any relation to the rest of it. And I kind of wonder why it's there when the rest of the song is a very traditional sort of pop rock song with very sort of slightly warm, clean guitar chords. And I don't know, I just feel like this band, they just need a wake-up call to go back to hard rock. Just like the next song, Wake Up Call.
She's checking out.
Wake up call.
Well, it's certainly filled with enough dream chorus that I felt like I needed to wake up.
Yeah.
So
it was, is the ballad of the album.
Oh, yeah, I literally just wrote the ballad.
Such ballad.
And it is the title track, and it is the most poppy song, I really feel. The most, like, straight-up pop song.
It's also the most boring song.
Yeah, there's... This song I said is very sort of, like, the more poppy, Taylor Swifty sort of stuff.
It's funny you mentioned Taylor Swift, because there's a later song that totally is Taylor Swift 100%.
Because this song, he says, I'm not home in this hotel because my home is with you, or is you. And he like, very calmly, it's kind of funny, there's a sort of antithesis thing where he says, I'm freaking out. And it's this very calm, gentle song where he just declares multiple times that he's freaking out.
I noted that too. And I'm like, it's such an odd thing to use the phrase freaking out in like a melodic, so like
I miss you.
A miss you song. It's like you feel like that should be poetic, and to say, I'm freaking out, man. Like, you can't say I'm freaking out poetically.
I will say, I like that his voice was very forwardly mixed in this song. It was definitely...
I feel like it is throughout the whole album, like, very...
Well, I feel like this is the first song where it's really, like, dry at some point, so you can really catch it.
It's not as bad with the reverb.
During the verse... During the chorus, all the sonic space is filled with this big pop chorus thing, kind of like the Foo Fighters album was. Yeah. Just very filled with this sound. Pop. Well, what we're seeing that a lot of these more hard rock bands, are going for a pop sound now, or at least working with pop producers to change their sound. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it's great that Theory of a Deadman is maybe trying something new. It is their sixth album; they can do whatever they want. But I wasn't into it as much, I guess. Yeah. This is the first song, I think, that features synth strings, or maybe even real strings. I don't know if someone actually recorded strings for this.
It sounds a little synthy, though.
But, and I would say they reappear throughout the album to great effect in later songs. But this song, they feel like they're kind of just there to add it.
Maybe it's to introduce you to the idea of the strings.
Yeah, and that's why I said that sort of synthy strings remind me a lot of modern pop music, which has a lot of that sort of thing. But, I don't know. This song does actually have real drums again. Like, I feel like...
Shocker.
Which is funny, because it's really slow. I feel like the drummer on this album really went, like, for most of the songs, had a very sort of slow, and I'm not going to say easy time of it, but for a hard rock drummer, someone who really gets into it, I feel like they didn't consult him as much for this song. And it sounds like, considering it sounds like Tyler wrote a great deal of the songs on the piano, maybe by himself. So, I don't know if that's true. You guys can let us know in the comments. But beyond that, I feel like this isn't really a song I would listen to driving down the highway, but if you were, say, driving down the PCH, would you? Probably not. But the next song is PCH.
PCH. Did it make you want to drive far away from this song?
Actually, this is actually a great driving song. I think this is a summer afternoon song, I feel. Even though it's about, like, 5 a.m., I believe he says, about driving alone, whatever. This song, this song is very sort of fun and catchy, and I really enjoyed the chorus of this a lot. Right. So this song is the return of the whistling, I said, and it does this... And I can't remember what pop song that comes from, but it does come from another pop song, or at least sounds very similar to. And I said that kind of wasn't as good as the guitar, which there's like this snappy acoustic guitar going... which is really nice, but then there's this weird sort of like... sort of like digital sound in the background.
Yeah. Well, and then at the end of the verse, it kind of just stops completely, and he goes, home. It's like, that was kind of forced and weird.
This building up home chorus thing. Well, I think it's just designed. I think this song is also, like I said, the chorus is super catchy in this song. And I think this song is designed for the home
I thought the chorus
singer.
is a little limp.
Really? Because all the sonic space is filled. It even has like a cool lead guitar, like sort of like two like acoustic guitars doing this sort of like little Spanish lead thing going on it.
I just didn't get into it as much just because it felt like, I don't know, it's something you can bop your head along to it for sure, but like it's something I bop my head along to and tune out at the same time.
Well, that's like I said. What makes a good driving song is that you're just like you're enjoying the road.
I guess I can I can see why that makes it a good driving song because you can just kind of like you bop your head along and zen out, not really truly listening to it, but also feeling it at the same time.
See, I thought the song was pretty good, but the only thing that I really didn't like very much about it was that sort of like dun, 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 sort of thing in the verse. Mm-hmm. And during the chorus, I feel like his vocals were kind of weak because once again, I feel like he was trying to hit those high notes, and I feel like there was a weird conflict either in the layering or in the way his voice was being pitched or something, where it was really weak and kind of like forced in the chorus. But that being said, there's enough like layers and whatnot to where it feels bigger. It's more it's easy. Like you can feel the group like a group singing it.
Yeah,
like in the car, for example.
I just felt like I really wanted to be a poppy, dancey song. Like it.
Oh yeah.
It wanted to be a dancey song, but then it was torn between being a dance pop song and a laid back like smile and chill sort of song.
I would say this song wants to be a summer late night beach party song. And that's why that Pacific Coast Highway thing, I feel that. Mm-hmm. You know, it makes sense. Now, granted, I like this song, but it's certainly not the greatest of all time. Unlike the next song.
Never settle for less than gold. You're the best that the world will.
G.O.A.T. Was it the greatest of all time?
Well...
Or was it a goat?
It was kind of bad. But it wasn't... It was bad, but it was so close to being good.
Yeah, I really like the message of, it wants, like, based on the lyrics, it wants to be really pumped up, it wants to get you invigorated to win.
I said this is totally some MMA fighter's walking out song. Or at least it wants to be. Okay, well, it wants to be, and I think
with the lyrics and with, like, the music was trying to be that sort of powerful...
So yeah, this thing has a sort of, like, groove beat to it, almost like, well, it wants to, even though it's 4/4, it just goes kick, 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 like the whole song.
Yeah, whoever is programming their 808 drums, like,
I said,
was really bored.
I feel like this song, they didn't either use the drummer at all, or they didn't consult him to write the drums, because they could have written something much more interesting than just kick, kick, kick. And then they do the kick and the piano at the same time, so that those things are just there, forming the basis of the song. And it feels like it's got this kind of like R&B hip-hop-y thing going for it, but it doesn't have enough groove or style to reach that point. But that being said, it feels a little bit different than the rest of the stuff on this album. It definitely does have more of a sultriness, especially because there's a little, like, some blues-y stuff at the beginning, like, dun, dun, wait, there's, like, a slide down.
Yeah. But it's just, I feel like it does not accomplish what it's trying to do in being, like, it makes me think of a song like, like the ceiling can't hold us, this is the moment. You know, like, that song's got, like, it does that same, like, the piano, like, doo-doo, doo-doo, like, just, you know, straightforwardly played notes on the piano, but, like, the difference between the two songs is, like, for some reason that one has power and this one has no power whatsoever.
I don't know. I like this song. Like I said, I like this song, but it was just a few missteps, I will say, especially, from being great. And that's the verse. Let's talk about the verse. The song is called G.O.A.T. The song's, like, the title...
The chorus, you mean?
The song's title is G.O.A.T., which... The song's title is G.O.A.T.
Yes.
And so, which stands for...
The greatest of all time.
And so, in the verse, he says, never settle for less than gold. You are the greatest there ever was.
Yeah.
Greatest there ever was.
And both of us, when that part of the song played, we both went,
You're the greatest of all time.
Yeah, like,
you're the greatest of all time.
To say the title of the song fits perfectly in that same space. And so I have no idea why they chose to say the greatest there ever was. My theory about that is that in the bridge, they have this, like, little talky section.
It's like a hip hop interlude where we're supposed to talk up your game.
Yeah, and so then he builds up and says, the greatest there ever was. Like, he speaks the words, or the greatest of all time, I mean. Yeah. He speaks those words, and I'm like, maybe they refrained from saying the greatest of all time to have that build up.
See, I think they should have said greatest of all time in the verse, and then they should have done the rock vocal, the greatest there ever was, because that's like, it switches it up for one pivotal moment, as opposed to saying the title of the song in one pivotal moment.
No, I agree with you that they should say the title of the song in the chorus, especially if they're saying something really close to the title of the song that's not.
Yeah, so I said that I thought that the bridge itself and entirely
was really stupid.
It was just kind of weird. it was just, like I said, it switches to the talking thing, and no other song on this album has a talked bridge. No other song on this album that does this sort of slow, directly 4 on the floor beat. None of them does this sort of, like, piano, synth strings matching the hits, like I said, sort of R&B and hip-hop-y. This song feels really weird as compared to the rest of them. And for that, I really feel like this song is a loner compared to all the other songs.
I guess I misunderstood.
Loner. Does it make you feel like one?
I'm not sure what this song makes me feel. So this song is really strange. So I'm not sure, but I think this song, I've said so many of the songs feel ironic. I feel like this one's super
definitely. I feel like it's so stereotypy about people who spend time alone that it has to be making fun of them, right?
Yeah, it's so like, oh, we're including you. It's okay, it's okay to be alone. It's okay to not want friends who laugh at your jokes.
But then it says lines like, I don't even have a life. That's like, I feel like you're making fun of me, not trying to make me feel included.
Yeah, and so I said this song sounds like a weird sort of nega-universe Disney princess song.
See, I thought it sounded like Taylor Swift. Like
those two things match up.
That's true. Taylor Swift is a Disney princess.
Because it talks all about like how I don't need to have friends who laugh at all my jokes. I just have friends who know that I'm kind and I don't have to put up a front. And it just feels very much, I said it was like the Time to Spare song from Tangled. Mm-hmm. If there's time to spare. It feels very sort of uplifting but saccharine. It's so sweet that it's bitter.
It made me think of the song Mean by Taylor Swift. Like, someday I'll be living in a big old city.
Yeah, I said... I literally, it's funny you say that. I wrote, it's a parody of a Taylor Swift song. So that's exactly it. Like I said, I feel like this goes pop to the point of where it is making fun of it. Like I said, this was the first point where I listened to it, was like, this whole album is secretly ironic, isn't it? So I don't know.
It's making fun of itself, of pop music, maybe.
Yeah, I don't, so. Like, I literally don't know. But this song is one of the big examples of the drummer and the bassist finally getting a kick up. In the verse, they definitely get to both really play, and they play loud. And you're like, yes, where were you hiding in G.O.A.T? Why couldn't you have done something much cooler in G.O.A.T? Yeah. But whatever. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, there's some, of being poppy things in this song. Millennial woes. The song is full of millennial woes. Which, if you don't know what millennial woes are, there's someone who did a study on pop music of this era and found that a disconcertingly high number of songs...
Not just pop music, Disturbed does it too.
That's true. Have just go, whoa,
the first, the third, and the fifth, right?
Yeah, just like the major scale.
Because it's easy for an audience to sing.
And because it's easy to sing along with. Anyway, it's a thing that happens in like every song that's popular now. Well, and this song does it.
Speaking of easy to sing, though, this song is way too high for his voice, and I think it's because he's trying to put on that sort of like, haha, cheery, smiley face, and he's pushing that voice way high.
And it's really, especially the high note in the song, towards the end of it.
Yeah,
it's a little painful.
Yeah, he pushes it way too hard into that head voice, and we talked about how many times must they recorded that, not just to get it once, but to get layers of it.
My thought was, gosh, how must this sound live?
Yeah, I have a feeling this sounds much better actually live than it does on the album, because I imagine when he's doing it live, the whole band is playing everything. There's not as much, at least not as much synthy stuff, because they don't want the drummer just sitting on stage while an 808 just plays in the background or whatever, or a recording of the drum. So I imagine live this sounds much better than it does here.
That's true, because there's stuff to cover up if he fudges that note a little bit.
So basically, if you had to, would you take a time machine to go back and not listen to this song?
Time machine. Does it make you want to build one?
I wish I could build a time machine. That'd be righteous. I'd be rich instead of doing this. But this is the shortest song on the album, at 2 minutes and something seconds long.
Good.
G.O.A.T was the longest, at 4 minutes and 8 seconds long.
Bad.
So this drum sounds super like, boom, boom, boom. Like, it sounds so unreal to me.
Well, yeah, because it's not.
Well, I mean, some of the songs contain real drums, and I think the chorus might actually contain them.
Yeah, the chorus, I was going to say, if we're going to talk about the chorus of the song, that the groove of the, like, in contrast to the verse where the drum is just boom, 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 the chorus actually has a good groove.
No, the chorus is definitely, like, really good. I said this chorus is super fun, and there's a call and response to, if I had a time machine, and da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na.
Yeah, and it's got, like, thought of as feeling very beachy, like laid back.
That's
like
summer beach laid back groove.
Like you're laying under a palm tree and you're, if I had a time machine, yada-da-da-dee-da-dee.
Yeah, do you remember when you would go to the pool as a kid during the summer and all your friends would be there and there'd be like a water slide and whatnot?
I didn't have friends as a kid.
Okay, my point is, this is like one of the songs they play over the speakers at the pool. Mm-hmm. It's just really fun summer afternoon song.
Definitely a summer song.
But one of my biggest things is there's way too many vocal layers in the chorus. It sounds like a boy band is singing the song because there's just so much. And I know he isn't the only one who sings. The rest of the band do backing vocals and stuff. Mm-hmm. But there's just
they're a boy band.
Yeah, right. There's so many layers here that it's kind of overwhelming. And for me, which gets to a point where he does like self harmony in the bridge.
I liked that.
I didn't say it was bad. I just said it's too much. Like it feels fakey, it feels poppy, as opposed to I really would like to hear this live and hear how it sounds instead. Mm-hmm. That's like I said, the thing is, this song I bet sounds much better live than it does in the album, by far and away. Which is unfortunate, because the song, at one point, just ends. The song just ends. The song, it says the final word of the last chorus, repeat, and then just...
Yeah, there's no outro or anything, which is not that bad. But this is the shortest song, so I guess it could have used a couple more, like, strum chords
or it could have just ended on that bling,
it could have
happy
just
chord
had
or something.
A sustain.
But it just ends, like it blacked out, like someone had just knocked it right upside its glass jaw.
Swinging fast, you attack, slow to manifest.
Glass jaw. Did it make you want to beat someone up?
Yeah, but in a good way. This song is amazing. This is I'll just say right now, it's my favorite song on the album.
Oh, it's easily, far and away, the best song on the album.
Yes, at least for me, for us, I don't know. I love the tone in this song. So my only problem with the song is, first of all, it starts off with a really farty sounding synth bass.
But it's like, I called it almost ESPN horny.
Well, except that's the thing, ESPN horny. It gets to that point, but at first it's just like, I'm like, this is a weird way to start a song. But so my question is, what's the bassist doing while this synth bass is playing?
Nothing.
There's always points in this album. There's points in this album where I'm just like, well, what's this person doing while this is happening? Or what's this person doing while this is happening?
Yeah, it very rarely has the full band playing at once.
But
except in the chorus of this
we'll get
song.
there.
Yeah.
Then the drummer like kicks it up. And it's like, whoa, where was the drummer hiding this? This is what the drummer's been wanting to do the whole time.
There's some cool beats going on.
I definitely feel like maybe the rest of the band had a hand in being like, okay, we know you want to do this new like pop inspired thing, but how about you come back to a more rock thing? Mm-hmm. And therefore, like the most pop part of this is this. I call it the angel chorus in the pre-chorus section. See,
in this case, like, so this pre-chorus does do the thing of like stepping back before the chorus, which generally I hate.
But it worked really well as a sort of build down, build up in this section.
Because it provides, like, when the chorus kicks in, it's super good contrast. And it's almost like, because it's a song, like, about a fight, and so the pre-chorus is almost like that, like, slow-mo moment when you're about to get punched in the face.
With
that,
the record scratch. So this is me.
Yeah. and then that soft pre-chorus stops, and there's a moment of silence, and there's
this awesome like little guitar lead riff thing.
And both of us, when we were first listening to it, we looked at each other and we're like, whoa,
where did this come from? This is where it's at. And for people who, like I said, who hadn't listened to much Theory of a Deadman and went back and listened to some more after, like this song really is where it's at. Like if you like traditional like Theory of a Deadman hard rock stuff, this will be your favorite song, I think. But yeah, the guitar comes in with this really, I called it pop evil sound, like this sort of ghost sound. It's very ghost in its tone, and then they just rock out and have this super fun rhythm. It's like, and everything is just, it's super high energy, it's super chantable, it's super singable, you can rock out to it. We were dancing the whole time to it. Yeah. And rarely do we find ourselves like dancing along to the album, but we were feeling this one.
No, this is a really, really great song. And you very rarely hear like a great song about losing a fight.
Yeah, and it's great. He's talking about getting his glass. Well, I think it's all a metaphor,
Well, yeah.
But my one problem with this is that it's like, yeah, we're hard rock, we're doing it, and then just before the bridge, they do this like, like they just like guitar build up, and you're like, oh, it's gonna solo, it's gonna solo, God, it's gonna solo, and then it just goes into like a nicely sung bridge. And it's not a bad
And then
bridge.
after the bridge, it has a little musical interlude too, and it's like, oh, now the solo's coming. No solo.
And then it doesn't put it in.
Yeah, spoiler alert, there's no guitar solo in the song.
That is the biggest hit in the jaw, like I said, of this song. It's just that it's missing, it goes for that rock sound, But I'm guessing maybe the producer, or maybe the way he wrote it,
or maybe it just would have been too long if it had a guitar solo.
Yeah, well, it's not even the longest song on the album.
I don't know.
So they just pulled it back and they're like, nah, no solo, let's just have it rock out. And that's fine. But I feel like that was the one thing that was missing, especially because this album has solos on it. And it's a shame that they couldn't put one in here. So like I said, there was a hit to the jaw, really, and I would say it just left my Poe mouth just really sore.
How come every time we wanna go out, you get Poe mouth when we go out?
Poe mouth.
So Poe mouth. This song is where the tongue in cheek is so intense that the tongue is now sticking out of the cheek and flying off into deep space. No, this song is supposed to be funny. This song, you're supposed to laugh. You're supposed to have a good time.
Yeah, it is entertaining, and even though sometimes you're laughing at the lyrics, not with them, but
yeah. So this song is definitely a summertime pop punky sky jam. I would call it because it goes which you could almost like go.
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to call it pop punk, but
well, I mean, we'll get to something in a minute that talks about it, but it definitely has this sort of like really fun, goofy, groovy sound that I really liked. And
no, it definitely is it's a very bright sound. Makes you feel like you're outside on a sunny day. And you know, and this song is about your friend who's a mooch.
Yeah.
And takes all your money.
Having been the friend who was the mooch, my friend Scott would love this song. No, but it's really like sort of, they got these, the reason I say like sky pop punky, it's got this really echoey sort of like drum sound, and like I said, the guitar is very like short choppy bits, and I really liked it in this song. This song is super sassy and fun, and once again, I would feel like it goes once again sort of that Mrazzi direction where it's very much the sort of like talk rappy stuff at times. And
it's very positive sounding with some sarcastic lyrics.
Oh yeah, like the lyrics are like great in the song. It's like you open your wallet and a moth flies out, and stuff like that. And it's just, what is it? You want to pay off your student loans, but you head to the liquor store instead. And I'm just like, oh, that college life. No, but like I said, it's really fun. But then out of nowhere, like the reason I said this, it gets like a pop punky solo.
Yeah, it's a surprise guitar solo. Like after the last song, we're like, dang, this album's gonna have no solos. And then listening to this song, and it gets to the bridge section, and just suddenly guitar solo.
And the guitar solo lasts, I would say, 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it's followed by
a guitar solo.
Is it
guitar
well,
or
I said
keyboard?
It's like a Hammond organ-y, keyboardy thing where this classic
should
like,
be a guitar.
I hope it is when they play live, but this keyboard solo that's like for 3.5 seconds. Also after that, but they're both really good and really fun, and they're showing off like all the skills of the people in the band, and it's really like good and great, and it's just a fun song. This is the kind of thing, pop rock. This was the pop rock song, and I really liked it. Like this song was great, and it ended in a way that I feel, like I said, like, once again, we talk about how it's like a sort of summer party album and everything. It's funny this is coming out in October that we think that. It ends with these sort of like everybody chanting, you got Poe mouth, you got Poe mouth stuff. And it just feels like everybody at the party is like, yeah!
Screw this guy.
Yeah, screw that guy. We all have that guy who just wants
There is a
money.
lyric that's, we all got that friend.
Yeah, and it's just, it makes me laugh. The next song is Wicked Game.
Okay.
The world was on fire, no one could.
Wicked Game. Did this song have Wicked Game?
It did. This song was awesome.
And that's because it's a cover.
Well, I mean, that's not why. Because so the original song is by Chris Isaak, and I like this one better. And I know there's going to be some people out there who are like, how dare you?
So, I have mixed feelings. Like, I think the instrumentation was better.
Yes, absolutely.
But the singing was not. Like, I'd say this song, like, the instrumentation was amazing, and it had it was all strings.
And this was the point that made me wonder if the strings if it was actually like a string quartet that they got, because it sounds so good.
It did sound really good, but I would say that it showed off the flaws in his voice.
Really, because I thought it was interesting, because I feel like some of his vocals were really intimate and clean and right, like forwardly mixed. You could really hear.
No, it is nice at points, but also just because it's so much just the strings and the vocals, like, you know, it's just his voice there, and it's.
I say we agree to disagree on this one. I thought this song was great. I thought it sounds very unlike the rest of the album, because it is a cover one, and it is like all orchestral basically. There is some drums. It's very slow.
It does, like, when the drums do kick in though, it's like,
it's got this big orchestral sound, and
it's really great.
And so that's the thing, is this song sounds really good, and this, like I would say, like the last 3 songs all have this, like this is the way you end an album. like we've talked about a lot of people who, you know, we feel like the albums taper off at the end or don't sound as good. But the last 3 songs have been really, really good here. Yeah. And I really enjoyed them. And it's hard to talk too much about Wicked Game because there's just not that much to it. Like, it's there's
not much to it, but it is definitely worth listening to.
I wouldn't say this about the other songs in the album as much, but this song is beautiful.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting from this album. Yeah. Like, listening to all the songs up to here, I was not expecting a kind of heartfelt sounding, orchestral, soft...
Exactly.
Soft but powerful sort of song.
Especially not from one of the first bands ever signed by Chad Kroger's record label.
Why am I not surprised?
Yes, Nickelback. The record label Roadrunner, I believe was his, this guy, Taylor handed in their demo tape at a party. And then Chad Kroger was like, yeah.
It's just the type of generic hard rock I love.
Yeah, so that doesn't surprise me. So, to talk about favorite songs, I just want to give you that back because I knew you'd enjoy it. To talk about favorite songs, Glassjaw was my number 1, and I suspect it was yours. Number 2 was Poe Mouth for me because it was just so fun and sassy. And then Wicked Game was my number 3.
All right. Mine, definitely Glassjaw number 1, like, by far and away. And the number 2 for me was Wicked Game.
All right.
Just because it actually felt sincere for once. And then number 3 was actually probably Straight Jacket.
Really?
Yeah, because it was kind of silly.
31 at home.
And I like the sass and
you
how
just
it
like
sounded.
Jason Mraz.
I do like Jason Mraz. I might be a metalhead, but I love Jason Mraz.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as for bottom 3 songs,
the rest.
Number 3. Oh, no, this is a good album. It's just weird. So my bottom 3 songs, starting at the least to most. Time Machine. It was the shortest. I felt like it was just sort of like too many layers in the vocal. It was just kind of boring and generically poppy. Then Loner was too sarcastic. Like I said, so sweet that it was bitter because it was being like kind of insulting in its sweetness. And then of course we had the same worst song already, I know, which was Medicate.
It's harder for me to think about my worst ones because it's like there were the ones I liked and then kind of just everything else. I actually didn't hate Medicate as much as you think I did. It's kind of fun and it's
so goofy.
It's so goofy that I kind of almost enjoy it because it's bad. Maybe I've just heard it so many times that I've got like a Stockholm syndrome of this song, but who knows?
Okay, so in the end, would you recommend this album to someone else? No. I'm afraid not. It's too pop rock for anyone that I know. Maybe if you like Mraz, go for it. Yeah.
I like Mraz.
But I think you'd rather listen to a Mraz album.
Yeah.
Will this make you listen to any more Theory of a Deadman?
No. Granted, other Theory of a Deadman songs don't really make me want to listen to Theory of a Deadman either, but...
Knowing that they are harder rock, and they can get some good stuff in there, and hearing how Glassjaw was, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to definitely more after this, but because I know this album is so different. Mm-hmm. So finally, what would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 10?
4?
I said 5. It's just not... It won't blow anyone's minds, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the end, everyone's a critic, including us.